we expect that the crisis will result in a significant contraction in some of the countries in the region. And of course, the biggest hit is the challenge of containing the spread of the virus in some of the countries. But at the same time, what we observe is that many countries have reached some limits in the policy space that they can allocate to prop up the economy, and that some of the lingering vulnerabilities in these economies remain and actually have been exacerbated by the crisis. So we see, of course, certain economies in the region being able to rebound strongly, notably China, while other economies like India suffering a significant contraction of almost 10% in 2020, and the situation going a bit to normalize in certain countries in 2021, but varying greatly across all of those. So while China will be able to recover strongly, we expect that the rest of the region will remain a bit subdued in this new year, 2021. And as I said, main risk, the ability to contain the pandemic, and on the other hand, some structural vulnerabilities that we have been observing over the years and that have not yet been tackled in some of the countries.
Does the recovery really hinge on the vaccine rollout across this part of the world?
Well, of course, Asia has been one of the most successful regions, comparatively speaking, to the rest of the world in containing the outbreaks. If we look at the case of China, for example, it's clear that they were able to limit the spread and contain and avoid the need of imposing additional national lockdowns. But the situation is much more complicated in other parts like India. And of course, the availability and the ability of rolling out the vaccine will be a deciding factor in whether economic activity can be sustained going forward. Yes.
What about vaccine equality or vaccine inequality, something that the WHO has raised?
Well, this is a source of great concern. Of course, the recovery will not be global if it's not happening everywhere, and if the pandemic is not defeated everywhere. So access to vaccine will remain an important factor. And we are quite concerned about the fact that developing countries in Asia, but especially in Africa and in Latin America, are not being able to access vaccine at the same rate and at the same prices as more advanced economies. What we also see in the case of Asia is that this has been the most resilient, of course, region in the world. But governments will have to take decisive measures to address some of the factors that have been exacerbating during the pandemic. Digitalization in particular is one of that. We know Asia is one of the more advanced regions in terms of the digital infrastructure, but despite that, what we observe is that the response during the pandemic has been limited by still some bottlenecks that prevent the full use of the digital transformation in many of the less advanced economies in the region. So yes, vaccine, crucial aspect, access to it will be fundamental, especially for the poorest countries, but at the same time, there are some structural factors that need to be addressed, notably in the area of digital infrastructure.